of government have been tried and will be tried in this world of sin and woe. No one pretends that democracy is perfect or all-wise. Indeed, it has been said that democracy is the worst form of government, except for all those other forms that have been tried from time to time. British Prime Minister Sir Winston Churchill said those words in November of 1947. Anyone who's watched the American Congress debate an issue or sat in on a school board meeting or a town board meeting or perhaps a church annual meeting with a contentious issue at stake would be inclined to agree with Sir Winston's assessment of democracy. Government by consent of the governed is not a new idea. It goes back at least as far as the ancient Greeks and has existed in various forms throughout the ages. For us, here in America, it is perhaps best remembered in the words of our Declaration of Independence, which was written on this date, July 4th, 1776.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
We have another musical treat for you. This is Mark playing a song, I am told by him, was written for our country's centennial in 1876. This is God of Our Fathers. share with you. This is from a book called Great Companions, with different excerpts by various speakers through the ages. It was gifted to me by the Reverend Dr. Peter Scott, who sponsored my becoming minister of this church. These are the words of Louis Kossuth, who was a Hungarian leader of national independence. And he spoke at Faneuil Hall in Boston on April 29, 1852. Cradle of American liberty. It is a great name, but there is something in it which saddens my heart. You should not say American liberty. You should say liberty in America. Liberty should not be either American or European. It should be just liberty. God is God. He is neither America's God nor Europe's God. He is God. So shall liberty be. American liberty has much the same sound as if you were to say American privilege. Look to history, and when your heart saddens at the fact that liberty never yet was lasting in any corner of the world and in any age, you will find the key of it in the gloomy truth that all who yet were free regarded liberty as their privilege instead of regarding it as a principle. The nature of every privilege is exclusiveness. That of a principle is communicative. Liberty is a principle. Its community is its security. Exclusiveness is its doom. There is a community in mankind's destiny. That was the greeting which I read on the arch of welcome on the Capitol Hill of Massachusetts. I pray to God the Republic of America would weigh the eternal truth of those words and act accordingly. Liberty in America would then be sure to the end of time. But if you say American liberty and take that grammar for your policy, I dare say the time will yet come when humanity will have to mourn over a new proof of the ancient truth that without community, national freedom is never sure. This flag is familiar to all of us. 50 stars representing each of the 50 states. 13 alternating red and white stripes representing the original 13 colonies. It means many different things to many different people. Freedom, equality, liberty, tradition, our nation, patriotism, many, many other things as well. A thought I've been having a lot is how more and more we are looking at this flag, and it's sort of like that old expression, we can't see the forest for the trees. We're focusing too much on the individual trees to be able to see the complete forest. What do I mean by that? Think of the colors, red, white, and blue. Our nation is so divided today. You're either red or you're blue in your outlook. And white. Been a lot of talk of white privilege and being white in our predominantly white society in America. And it's a reminder that we still have a ways to go from the Declaration of Independence. Because the truth is, when the founders wrote, all men are created equal. They weren't talking about all men. They were talking about white men. They weren't talking about women. Over the past 200 plus years, we have made progress. We have continued on. We fought a war, in part over people's skin color, and yet it continues to haunt us to this day. Only 100 years ago this year, we granted women the right to vote. Steps toward equality. Are women and people of color fully equal in our society? That's debatable, but it's better than it was in 1776. Because liberty and justice for all means exactly that, for all. Not just people who we agree with, not just people who look like us, not just people who are the same socioeconomic status as us, or the same gender as us, or the same sexual orientation as us. Liberty and justice for all. As I said, this flag means many things to many people, different things to different people. Our fifth principle in Unitarian Universalism is the use of the democratic process, but also, with that, the right of conscience. So, when we look at this flag and consider what it means for us, are we thinking in terms of patriotism or nationalism? Are we thinking liberty and justice for all? Or do we have this preconceived notion of what we think personally our nation should look like, and anyone who doesn't conform to that is wrong or bad or shouldn't be included? Liberty and justice for all. For all. It's inclusive. Because the statement I read earlier was from 1852, but it could apply today. That's where that right of conscience comes in, deciding what this means to you and how you will respond to our democratic society as a result of your right of conscience. Remember, no one pretends that democracy is perfect or all-wise. But it's still worth pursuing, it's still worth having. Happy Independence Day. A while back, this congregation exercised the democratic process to authorize repairs to our beloved organ. Those repairs have taken place. I am happy to report, and here's a treat that Mark has prepared for you in celebration of that.